Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to another live session. Today we're going to do landscape painting, and you can see what we are going to draw today. It's going to paint this Aurora, so Northern Lights. So this is an acrylic painting session. So we'll be drawing a very rough sketch of this landscape first, and then we will add layer by layer colors to make this more brighter and colorful. Okay. And I'm going to use a canvas. So if you don't have canvas, you can use any thick paper, cardboard, or anything is fine. Okay. So let me show you the canvas I'm using. It's a bit bigger canvas. Okay. I hope you guys are ready with all the materials. Yeah, you can use any paper, pencil, eraser. And if you don't have acrylic paints, use some colors like crayons or color pencils or whatever you have. All right. So we can quickly start. So let's start the drawing. So take your materials. So we're going to start our painting right away. So let's see the details over here. So these are kind of like a rough strokes I used at the end of the material, like at the end of the layering. So you can see the base layer is kind of blue. And here I used a little bit of black. And I also used some spraying kind of dots everywhere. Now look at the colors I used. So basically we're going to use tallow blue, black, some pink or magenta color with white, um, red, orange, some cadmium yellow. Yeah, basically here it is black with a little bit of purple on the sides. So these are the main colors I'm using. Let me show you that again. So we need a black color, white, blue. So I'm blue. You can use Prussian blue or ultramarine blue or any blue you have. It's better to have a darker one. And for Aurora, we are going to use this Viridian green, this light green. Yeah, it's called It's kind of a light yellowish green, monostral green. It's a new name. And this is yellow. So you can go for cadmium or medium yellow. And this is brilliant red. So you can go with scarlet or vermilion. And orange color. This is a bit darker, deep green, tallow green or any deep green. And finally, I'll use my purple. So these are the main colors I'm using. And if you have like simple minimum colors, use black, white, blue, and yellow and green. So this is also fine with some red. Okay, so if you don't have all the colors, just these minimum colors will also work. Black, white, yellow, a deep green, a deep blue color, and red, bright red. All right, guys, so let's start the sketching. I'm going to do a very light sketch of this overall mountains. So first take a pencil and leave a little gap at the top, at the bottom. Just draw a horizontal line. If you're using canvas, don't press too much, just do a very light rough sketch. When I'm doing painting, I usually do the side too. Yeah. So just do a very light horizontal line, leaving some space at the bottom. If your paper is smaller, just make sure we have more space at the top than bottom. Okay. Like if I divide the space into 3, 1, 2, 3. 1/3 is for land and 2/3 is for the sky. And you can draw a small mountain range over here. Okay, it's very simple sketch. And here these are like kind of rough details. So I'll draw a main shape, something like the zigzag line over here, or something like wavy line. Okay, so that is going to be a darker area. Maybe it can be a ribbon, a frozen river or something like water kind of line, wavy line. And on the side I will draw a tree, See, even if you draw a tree there, it will cover with our sky. But this is what we are drawing. Basically, we will draw a tree on the side with straight line and some curved lines on both sides. We have to redo this since we will paint everything with base layer. So one tree is enough. And I added some simple rough brush strokes everywhere for this, some rocks and all the tiny details on the side. You can see how it looks. It's just rough sketch. Yeah. But if you're using crayons or oil pastels or something, you can draw some small rocks, some random shape everywhere. Okay, so that is what we need. And our aurora, the lights will be in this direction. It's going to be like wavy line from this point. For you to see this line, I'm going to make these lines a little bit darker with my Sharpie. So if you guys have Sharpie or permanent marker, you can use that now. So basically, I'm going to outline everything with Sharpie. See, I'm just making some minimum lines for this landscape. Just make sure this tree is kind of pointy and triangle-like shape at the top with all of these lines. Yeah. And this line, so these are the main lines we need. So you can see I'm just going with the flow. I'm not bothered about this exact lines or anything because it's going to be a landscape. And I can make whatever change I want at the end, you know. So, and try it. If you're using canvas, just do the sides properly. Just continuation of that lines. And I love the way it looks on the side. When you put it on the wall, you know, it'll look nice. With a nice clean side. The aurora, this lines, if you want, you can draw it because I'm going to paint it anyway. So I'm not drawing that line. I'm going to keep it like this, pencil lines. Yeah. We can even add people here, like small, tiny circles, ovals, just some stick figure lines. You know, maybe few people are watching Aurora. Just maybe with a camera, they're taking pictures with tripod, lots of things. So tiny things you can add here, like, all right. Yeah. So this is a bit advanced painting. So normally when I'm doing in YouTube, I'll do a simpler cute illustrations and stuff, but this is a bit advanced. So even if you didn't do this exactly like mine, don't worry, the video will be here in YouTube, so you can watch, you can come back and watch anytime, so you can practice over the time. So this is what we need for the sketching part. Twinkle, can we start painting or do I need to wait for people to finish this?
Yeah, I think we can start, but
Yeah. So guys, if you have any question like about colors or the way I'm painting, you can ask me in the comments so I can answer you. All right. So I'm going to start with the main color in this painting, that is phthalo blue. So this is also called Prussian blue. It's kind of same, almost the same. I feel like it's the same. So phthalo blue or Prussian blue or primary blue. All these blues are okay for this. And we need more paint. And I might do like 3 or 4 layers of paint, okay? If you add more layers, it'll look nice. And I'm going to use my big brushes, large flat brushes. So this is, I think it is brush number 12 or something. This is brush number 10. So use bigger brushes for landscape, like bigger spaces, like sky and, you know, large spaces. So first I'm using blue. Then I'll use a little bit of white. Just I'm keeping it separate. I'm not mixing it now. So keep the color separate when you take. and use some disposable palette or plastic plate or something, and look at the colors. So we'll be going with a darker value over the top and some lighter or medium value here with a pink or magenta kind of line at the bottom. Okay, so this much is kind of darker, medium, and light. So black is a bit dark color, like very strong color, so I will use that at the end. First I'll start with this blue and white. Use your bigger brush. You can add water if you want, but it's kind of okay. It looks kind of okay. It's loose paint. But if your paint is too thick, you can add a touch of water. And I'm going to start from top. And I'm using horizontal strokes. See, this is canvas. You can see the texture over there. So to fill that gaps, I'm going to add a touch of water into it. But it is opaque. It's not like watercolor. It's kind of thick and opaque. Use horizontal strokes and start from one side, then back. So back and forth movement of the brush with horizontal lines. You can do multiple lines, multiple times if your paper is thick. So always use a thicker paper for painting. And use big brushes for big space. Maybe I'll use this, almost half of this. I'll use half of the sky for this color. Yeah. When I'm painting, I'm painting the sides too. Look at that. So if you're using canvas, just paint the side, just keep it neat. Use some rough cloth or sheet on your table. Yep, that's good. So it is neat. Even if I didn't do any details here, the sides will be clean and neat. Yeah, so I edit the sides properly. Yeah, and this is wet. Now I'm going to add some white into it. Okay, any questions? Oh, okay. See, if you just started, you can just do a very light line of um, horizontal line. So this line is important, this horizontal line. Then you can draw small mountains at the top. Then you can add some people with stick figures. And maybe you can add a river, a small river on the side with tiny rocks here. You can also add a big tree on the side. Okay. And if you're using acrylic, anyway, you're going to fill this entire area. Yeah, don't worry, guys. The video will be here, so you can paint anytime. You can re-watch it. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding some white paint into my blue color, dark blue color. Okay, and I'm going to start from here, not from this point. I'm going to paint over it. I'm starting from here. I want to mix, I want to make a gradient. So I'm going to start from here. I'm overlapping this with the same movement of the brush. How? Horizontal, back and forth. See, slowly this color is kind of merging. So that has got blended with the blue color. Now I'm going to go with blue plus white over here. So see the variation from dark to light. Maybe we can say medium. So if you didn't get that exact gradient, don't worry, you have to do one more time. So start from the beginning. When that is dry, just start from the beginning, do one more layer of gradient, and you will still get it. And I want to know what you like to draw and paint usually. Like if you're relaxing, if you like to enjoy a Saturday, what would you like to draw and paint? And what medium you like? Do you like acrylic or watercolor or any other medium? So if you give me some suggestions, I can do that next time. So it'll be easy for you guys to, draw and paint. So give me some suggestions. What would you like to draw next time? And next month is Valentine's Day, so maybe we can do something related to that. So give me some suggestions, okay?
Aaron said watercolor.
Okay, yeah, watercolor. Yeah, I love watercolor. Actually, I love that medium. It is so good, and it is so relaxing. Actually, if you know that way of doing it is so relaxing. See, I painted almost till this mountain. I'm going to leave a little gap for that pink purple color, okay? So that is, so you don't need to draw with horizontal line. Here you can just change the type of line. You can go along with the mountain. I'm just making the shape slightly different according to the shape of the mountain. And I'm leaving a little gap here. Now I'll clean my brush. So my brush is full of blue and white. So I clean my brush. We need something like a pink, magenta, or purple color, something like this color here on the side. So if you guys are using oil pastel, you can take magenta or pink or rose, something like that color, or lavender color. Any color will work. Here I have this set. It's called magenta. Yeah, it's a nice color, magenta. Okay. Rose is a good color. Some set has that color. So I'm using Montmartre paint set, and you can see all the details in the description. So I'll be uploading all the details, what materials I'm using. So next time if you want to buy that, you can check that. Check the description for the details, okay? And this paint set is so good. It has all the colors and it is not that expensive. It's beginners friendly color. So you can see I mixed some white into this magenta and I got a nice pink color. I love that pink color. Can you see that? It's a nice pink color here. Can change the brush if you want. I'm using the same brush. Can draw a thin line. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm just drawing a line on the side of the mountain with this pink color. So if you're using oil pastels or crayons, you can do a little bit of pink or magenta or purple or lavender color, something like this color here, and blend it to this. So you can see I'm moving my brush back and forth with zigzag movement. Look at that, I'm blending it.
Miss Nimmy, we have question from Sunil.
Mm-hmm.
How to make magenta?
Magenta, we cannot make magenta, but if they have crimson or something like dark red, mix some white into it.
Mm.
White plus crimson red or any dark kind of red. Magenta is a bit difficult to make because it is almost like a primary color sometimes. Crimson red plus white will give a pink kind of color, something closer to magenta. Yeah. So I got a little bit of light here. So can you see that variation from dark, medium to light? And you can do one more layer if you want. If you add more layers, your painting will look better. To look more opaque. So I'm going to add one more layer with the same color, okay? So you have time, don't worry. I'm going to do it slowly. So if you want more finishing, add one more layer. So I'm using my tallow blue. I'm going to paint over this. Same thing, okay? Need a thick dark color at the top. If you're using oil pastel, go with same horizontal lines. It's easier to fill. So use horizontal lines to fill that space. And fast movement will give more finishing. If you're doing a gradient, instead of going with slow movement, go faster. So same thing, I'm just taking a little bit of this light blue and I'm blending it the same way I did in the beginning. So now I got a nice finishing for this gradient. Yeah, light color, I'm okay with that. So I'm not doing anything here. I'm happy with that. Now we need to wait for this color to dry so we can use this time to fill color here. So here, look at the colors. When you look very carefully, you can see this is blue plus white, the same blue plus white, the same color here. So if you're using phthalo blue, use blue plus white here, here, same color here, and same color on the mountain. Okay? So it is blue plus white. So I'm going to use the same blue color, phthalo blue or Prussian blue, whatever you're using, use the same color. And you can change the brush into a smaller one. So I'm going to use this brush, bit smaller. So I can control over that lines. I am mixing a little bit of white and more blue. Adding some water. So look at the water, it has already turned into a blue color. So this is our main color, blue and white. First, I will paint the mountain. See, if you're using oil pastel, you can use blue or purple for the mountains, okay? Purple is good color for the mountains. Purple is good, very dark purple, okay? Dark purple or dark blue. Yeah. I'm simply painting that with blue plus white. I was thinking of painting this Northern Lights for a long time, but this was a little bit advanced, so I was just okay. I'll always rethink. Okay, I don't want to do this. It will be difficult for you, but it is actually easy. It's very easy actually. When you paint layer by layer, it is so easy. See, I'm painting the sides correctly. See, now it is so good. Look at the side, just a thin line on the side. Yeah. We can add more layers if you want, but I'm just okay with this. I didn't add too much water, so this is an opaque, thick paint, thick layer. And I'll use the same color here. Look at that. Same color here. So the Sharpie line is actually helping me to separate those shapes. So I'm going to use the same color for this river too. Just half of the river is same blue color. If you want, you can leave a little gap here. A thin white gap will help you to identify the shapes. And later you can fill it. So if you're using oil pastels or a different color, leave a tiny thin line. And that will also give a nice, feel to the water. You can reflected light or something. Thin line, a thin white line. And half of the river I painted with blue color. Same color. And the other half I'll use dark blue. No white there. I'm going to use dark blue. No white. So this is blue plus white. Now I'm going to use just dark blue because it's kind of reflection from the top. So from here, it will go here. It's reflecting in the water. I want to do a little bit of black, but maybe I will do that at the end. And if you're painting, if you're coloring water, use horizontal lines. It's better to use horizontal lines for water. Yeah, and after this base layer, we will do some magic with white paint. We need to add stars in the sky, right? And I'll show you how you can add stars in the sky with a simple method. Maybe you guys know that. How many of you know a simple method to add stars in the sky in acrylic paint? Okay, you can use toothbrush. Do you know the technique? You can use a toothbrush or a rough big brush, and you can take a little bit of white in the brush and you will splatter everywhere. Okay, toothbrush is actually good. If you have an old toothbrush, you can use that. It will look like magic. Yeah. Now I'm going to fill this with same color, blue plus white. So it's repetition, right? So we're using only minimum colors for this base layer. So yeah, you can use Steve. That's a good idea, Steve. You can use back of the brush and you can add tiny dots everywhere. That's a good idea, actually. And there is another method I'll show you in this. Okay, you can use toothbrush, but I'll be using my bigger brush and I'll add some white stars in the sky. See, this time I'm going to add more white, more and more white, and I'm going to make it lighter than this. Let me just check. So I need this color to be lighter than the mountain. So use a light blue there or add more white. I'm adding more white. Look at that. I'm adding more white. I'm going to make it lighter. Oh, not too much. It's kind of a dark background. Yeah, so this much. It's a bit lighter. Look at that. And I'm using lots of paint. Look at that. It's so much paint here. And it's thick paint. It's maybe 1 or 2 touches of water. That's enough. Yeah. I just want this to be a rough surface, not like a clean, plain area. So what I will do, I'll change the direction. I will make it rough with different types of brush strokes. So here I used horizontal line. I got a softer gradient, but I don't want softer gradient. I want a rough surface here. So I'm going to use different direction for this. You can scribble everywhere. Okay, but just careful when you draw, when you paint on the side, just careful so you won't lose the detail. Other than that, just go with different direction. Even a simple difference in brush strokes can make your work different. See, if you are doing same horizontal lines here, it will look really flat. But this is a rough surface. So I need to keep that roughness here with strokes. And try to paint the side. You can fill all the sides now. So this is our base layer. So almost done. Now we'll be adding details. This is going to be more fun. So in acrylic, you can do layer by layer. You can add more and more details. So just simple minimal lines are enough for starting. And even if you make mistakes, you can correct it. You can cover it and you can correct it with proper color or proper shape. So it's an opaque medium. So it is so good to use acrylic. So don't worry if you make mistakes or anything in this one. So there is no mistake in painting, but so don't worry if you didn't want this exact color. You can change the color anytime. You can go with the flow. Yeah, so we finished our base layer. Now everything kind of clean. And I'm going to add some stars in the sky Yeah, maybe. Oh, let's do the stars later. So we have to add the aurora. Maybe we can do the stars at the end. That's, I think that is easier because we're going to do lots of green and um, blue and purple lines over here. And after that, we can do the stars. That's easier. Otherwise, this stars will go. So take colors for aurora. You can go with any color. You can take rainbow colors. You can take just two colors. So I'll show you the colors I'm using. So I'm using a green first. So take a deep green or viridian green, something like a dark green for the first step. Okay. So take a green color, deep green or viridian green, and I'm going to add strokes. First, I will draw the line, the wavy line that we did in the beginning. Then we will add vertical lines through that. So let's take the green color, use the same medium size brush. Okay. And it should start somewhere from here, like 3/4 of this. Yeah, maybe 1/3 of this. Yeah. So if you divide the space into three, 1, 2, 3. So you can start from here. Okay. And it's going to start from this point. It will go like this. Can go any way you like. Okay. Just a nice wavy line. You can add 1 or 2 or maybe 3. Here I added, let me just check. 1, 2, 3 lines. I just did 3 lines over here. You can do 2 lines too. So it's starting from the same point and it is going like this. Ooh. Yeah, I think 2 lines are enough. Otherwise, it will be too difficult for you. So just 2 wavy lines from the same point. Okay. And then you're going to add lines, vertical lines with this flat brush. From that wavy line, just go with this vertical line, like straight lines. You can also use your finger to spread the color. You can spread with your fingers, it will be nice and even. Or you can use a sponge or a Q-tip. Yeah, or just a brush. I'm adding lines, vertical lines on it. And I want this to be like soft. This is the easy method to draw northern lights. There are so many different variations. So I just think this is okay. This is easy for everyone. And if you didn't like the color, you can cover it with the same base color and start again. That's the good thing about it. And here I don't want too much, so I'm just keeping some rough lines. Look at that. This is the way it looks closer. Okay. And if you don't want these lines, you can spread with a small sponge or with your finger or something, like finger painting. But I'm okay with the lines. I'm happy. I like that actually. So that's just a base color. Now I'm going to add more colors like yellow, purple, and pink. It's going to spread everywhere in the middle here. Okay. So take some light green or, yeah. So just do it slowly. The video will be here. So you can rewatch this. So I'm adding light green, like, so it's a really light pale yellow green color. I'm going to use this green on the tip of this shape. So just here, okay, one more focus over here. So I'm going to do light green here. Maybe 1 or 2 lines on that curve, that wavy line on the curve here. But what kind of line we need? We need more vertical line here. Well, it's fun. And you can add more colors now, like all the colors of rainbow will work. But I'm using green, light green, and purple. Those are the colors I'm going with. purple. Okay, so three colors. Those are the colors I'm using. If the color is not working now, just do that later. If your base layer is completely dry, you can add more colors. It won't blend. It won't blend with your base color. For example, if you're using red or orange here, the blue color on the base will mix with your orange and you will get a muddy brown color. So if that happens, just wait for your base layer to dry. Maybe you can try that after 2 or 3 hours. Your orange will look brighter than now. I'm adding more lines in the middle. I'm going to fill this area with lots of purple lines. I'm not covering the whole thing, just few lines, vertical lines. And more dark tones at the top. I don't want to add more lighter tones here. Everything is kind of dark at the top because I want more attention here, or I should go here when you look at this painting. So this is our focal point. So no, nothing here on the top. It's just light dark values. Okay, yeah, you can go with the flow. You can add more and more colors there. So now I'm going to add lights and details over here. We'll be adding lights, orange lights, some black dots and marks, some random strokes, okay? Some red dots, white dots, orange, yellow dots, and yellow plus white lines on the mountain to show some light from this side, you know. So all the colors, I'm going to add all the colors with small brush. So take a small brush, a small medium or small round brush. We'll be adding dots, some random shapes, random colors everywhere here. Okay, so if you add more details over here, your eyes will automatically go to this point. It will be colorful. So first I'm taking a medium yellow or cadmium yellow or gamboge yellow, anything that is a bit darker, not lemon yellow, and add some white into it. So keep your colors separate. Then take tiny bit of color from each area. I'm not mixing the whole thing. Take a little bit of color from each. Make a light pale yellow color. See, I'm saving this color for later purpose. So always use tiny bit of color for mixing. Because if we don't know what color you will get, you know, so we need to test it out first. I think this is okay. I'm going to add lines on one side of the mountain. Just one line here. Look at that. One line here. See, one line for each triangle shape. Can you hear any noise from this background? Twinkle is
Yeah, I think it's the
yeah, it's ambulance.
ambulance or something.
Yeah, some um, my house is very close to road and lots of
Mm,
yeah. So you can add more lights if you want. Okay, yeah. So look at that. So our attention is going here now, and I'm going to add some black dots and lines. So this is the way you have to build when you paint. Build layers. First base layer. If everything is okay, you can start with your detailing. So I'm using black now. I'm going to add some random strokes everywhere here. So basically, closer to the bottom part of this mountains, can you see that rough texture? And few lines here and tiny dots and shapes over here. So if you can go with maximum random shape, that's good. So first I'm adding a line here at the bottom. I'm going to fill that white space there. I don't want that white space to be there because I think it's better to do black line. And I'm going to add some tiny dots here and there. So this is the way I'm adding tiny dots. Yeah, here just minimum lines are enough because anyway it's going to be a tree here. So I'm not giving much details over here. And maybe I can do that small mountains, the silhouette or the stick figure shapes of people here. So lots of people here standing. So just stick figure lines. I'm not adding water, it's a thick paint. I can add more people here. Tiny dot for head, just one rectangle like shape for body and two rectangles for leg. That's enough. Maybe a person here, just behind him. Just random strokes too. And these mountains that we did in the beginning. So I'm using black color for that. And I'm not looking at the border or anything. I'm simply drawing their shapes. So there is a shape over here, but I'm simply drawing some random shape. This is enough. Okay, so just black dots and lines. And a big shape over here on the side. And some tiny dots. And finally, I'm going to add some water lines. Some water lines. Horizontal lines in the water. Because we have to build more black dark values here. So our colors will look brighter. The yellow and all the other colors we are going to add look more brighter if the background is darker. So that's why I'm adding more darker value. I'm building that value there to give more contrast. So that's it. And now I'm working on the tree. So I use the same color, black. First, you can draw that line. Look at that. Use the same brush. Just outline that lines there with your brush. See, if I'm taking this in the class, I'll make it simpler and then I'll go slow. But this is YouTube, so you can come back and watch this anytime. It's just fun actually watching too. So just add the silhouette of that shape and add more dots. Just use dabbing technique. Dab, 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 dab on the main branch. Make this area thicker with lots of brush strokes. Even on the side of the canvas. And when we go closer to the top, just make it tinier. So you will get the triangle shape. And I'm going to add dots for each of this line. And each line should look pointy at the top. So tiny dots at the top. So each line should look like a triangle here at the top with tiny dots. So build that shape with your brush. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and they got a little bit time in between too. Yeah, we were doing the tree. So can I start again, or Tinkle, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done sharing
Okay,
them the details, so that's good.
that's good. Okay, so yeah, so we were working on the tree. So I'm just adding the tiny dots for each branch. Yep.
Join our Feb classes because we will be doing Valentine's Days
Yeah,
painting for sure.
yeah, definitely. We'll do every year some Valentine
Yeah.
painting. And yeah, I would like to know what you'd like to draw because we already did lots of things. So if you have something in your mind, you can just tell me here. You can just put it in the comments so I can include that in the class or maybe in the next YouTube video. Yeah. So in our live class, we're doing two groups. If you are,
Yes.
if you didn't know, so it's according to the age group. So we have age group of 5 to 7. So that will be really really simple things. So I cannot include any of this advanced techniques there. So everything will be simple for kids. So and 9 to 12 it will be a little bit more advanced. So it's according to the age group. Okay, so that's different. And this is for everyone. So if parents are there who like to paint, you can watch this video for their painting and you can make beautiful painting for their home. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing it here. And finally, I'm going to add stars. If you guys are ready, you can take a big brush or toothbrush or something. So I'm going to use this big brush. Make sure your brush is dry. So we don't need water too much. Just so water. If you're adding water, the dots are going to be bigger. So it's up to you. If you want a little bit bigger dots, you have to add a tiny bit of water. If you want very fine dots, just minimum, like just paint is enough. You don't need to add water. Okay, so according to the amount of or quantity of water, you are going to get different sizes of stars there. So first I'm just taking my white. I'm going to take it here. Let's start without water. Yeah, let's do without water first. Just paint. Okay, just paint. Let's see how much I'm getting, and if I want I can include water. So just take your big brush or you take your toothbrush. Okay, yeah, an old toothbrush, don't use yours. And just take paint in that brush and just bend the brush and you're going to release it quickly. Okay, yeah, yes, this is kind of really really light soft lines, you can see that properly. So I'm going to add a touch of water. See, just a little bit of water. So increase
That's
that.
fun.
Yeah, this is, and I'm going to add. Ooh, see, it's a little bit uncontrollable, so you should be very careful. It's a bit more bigger. So I'm going to add a little bit more water. See what happens here. Yep, it's too much. Yeah, I think this is enough for me. If I add too much, it will look weird. And bend it and release it softly. More on the side, okay, less on the aurora and other areas. And you can add shooting stars. If one of this is kind of a little bit bigger, you can just do it quickly with your finger and you will get a shooting star there. Just few. Same direction, one in the opposite direction. Yeah.
That's fun.
Not too much. This is enough. Yeah. So just minimum lines. See, when I added some of the stars went here. So I got more stars on this finished one. Yep. So that's it. And you can add more colors and lights over here. So I'm going to add orange, pink, purple, lots of colors here, closer to that line on the mountain. So first let's start with orange. So take any color, make it colorful. So this is orange. I'm going to add some orange dot. You can use the back of the brush. Yeah, some of you like adding dots with back of the brush. This is fine. You can use back of the brush or a pointy tipped brush, a round brush. Both are okay. I'm going to add some lights in line. Look at the way I'm adding tiny dots in
Mm.
line. It's on the other side of the river. And some lights here between this tree here. And some random dots. And some reflection in the water. See, if you have an orange dot here, you can add lines closer to that in the water. So here, if you add dots, this is the most fun part. And add lines here like reflection. So if you add more lights, it will be so colorful. Oof. And I'm going to add some, what's the next color? I want some red color there. I'm going to add this brilliant red. Yeah, scarlet or yeah, any red that you have. I'm going to add a tiny dot over here and some reflection of that color here. Maybe some reflection here too. And some dots. Use fluorescent colors too. If you have fluorescent colors, it will be beautiful. I'm going to add some pink too with magenta. So take magenta color, add white, make some fresh pink color. Okay, and that's our final step. You can go with your details any way you like. Okay, just make it more colorful, detailed, with lots of lights and colors. Lots of brush strokes on the tree. You can even add some purple lines on the black area. Yes, some pink color. Pink will be nice.
Tempera paint is like the same with acrylic, right?
Yeah, it's the same opaque paint.
Mm.
So it is. I think tempera is kind of matte finished. Yeah, those will
Oh,
work. Yeah, so those will work. This is acrylic is kind of glossy finished. If you add more water, it will get more glossy.
okay.
Yeah. So tempera is matte finished. It's almost the same. It's opaque, so it's good. Same technique can be applied. And I want some yellow lights. The yellow lights here, right? So I'm going to add some yellow lights on the trees and on the people, so it's kind of reflected. It's getting reflected everywhere on this object. See, I'm not worried about this colors, blending thing. See, when I'm adding some yellow, so that yellow is kind of blending into this black color, but that is okay. That is part of the painting. So just enjoy that. See, I'm adding white plus yellow line and that is slightly blended into the black area. That's okay. And some random strokes here and there. And some white dot in the middle of red and orange light. So I'm using the back of the brush and I'm going to add a white dot here in the middle. Some white dots on the orange. It's more brighter over there. And I'm going to add more purple dots on the tree. Is it time, Twinkle?
Three more. Yeah,
Okay, so I'm
two
going to
more.
add
2 more minutes.
okay, few more details and then we will wind up the session. Okay, and you guys can come watch this video anytime here in the YouTube channel, and I want your suggestions. How much you like this kind of painting. Do you want to make this simpler or a little bit more advanced? And how much time you like to pay, like 1 hour or 2 hours? So if you help me get these details, I can do that way. I'm okay with any medium, so give me suggestions about the mediums too. So watercolor, we'll definitely add watercolor painting, future classes. Any other medium other than watercolor and acrylic, give me some suggestions. And how many of you like prismacolors? So if you like prismacolors, I'm planning something bigger for you guys. And that's going to be a realistic, hyper realistic kind of work. So if you guys are excited, you can just look for details in future. I will be sending the details in our social media and also in email. So I'm planning for some prismacolor for advanced kids. And a bit more dots here and there on the. So you can see we started with bigger brush and we slowly changed into smaller brushes and smaller shapes and lots of lines, dots. I want this to be more colorful, so I'm adding some more purple, some magenta. See, now this is completely dry when the stars are dry. So I can easily add colors on top. If I add some pink there, oops, yeah, I'm adding some pink vertical lines.
Mm, it looks magical.
Yeah. So now I can see a little bit more detail over there. Yeah, if I have some fluorescent, I'll use that. Maybe a little bit more green here. But just reduce the lighter tones. We don't need too much lighter, but in some minimal bright lights will brighten the whole things. So try to include all the values. If your colors are just light, it won't look nice. So we need dark, medium, and light, evenly distributed over the canvas. And that is a balance actually, and you will get it by practice. So you need to practice a lot, and you will get it. Okay, guys, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's painting, and please come back and watch and give me suggestions about future classes too. I'll be happy to include all of your suggestions. We're going to have fun. So we have, and if you want to learn more mediums, you can check our. Oh, there's lots of paint on my face. Yeah, yeah, you can check our
It's
regular
fun.
classes. We are doing actually charcoal, oil pastels, watercolors, acrylic, and gouache in our regular classes. So you can check the details there. Thank you so much for joining, and happy Saturday and happy weekend.